God, I seriously hope that one of these days we can actually fix the things that we own and actually own them outright. Hi, everyone. My name is Franco, and I'm the Redneck Immigrant. And today we're going to be talking about one of my biggest passions in life, which is cars. Love cars, big car guy. Been since as long as I can remember. I was in the automotive industry for a number of years. Uh, you did a lot of high performance stuff like roll cages, race cars, engines, stuff like that. So, but this video that we're going to discuss today touches on a topic that is very near and dear to my heart, which is right to repair. You might not know what that means, and if not, great, welcome, and you're going to learn a little bit about it, and it should become a passion of yours. So, anyway, let's get into it.
Bugatti has refused to sell Matt Armstrong the parts needed to rebuild a $1 million hypercar. And I think they're 100% right. But before you grab your pitchforks, I'm on your side. Some people might even call me Matt Armstrong from Wish. And as someone who's restored an E36 from scratch and has some insane rebuild ideas of my own, here's what I think a lot of people are missing. Alex crashed a Chiron Per Sport last year. By November, he bought it back from Copart, parked it in his basketball court, and teamed up with Matt Armstrong for what might be the most ambitious rebuild the internet has ever seen. 3D printing, cross-referencing, and remanufacturing every part they'll need to bring the car back to its former glory. But there was a massive problem. Bugatti doesn't want to sell them parts. And according to Alex, they didn't even want him to buy the car back in the first place. Then things got really interesting. Mate Rimac, the CEO of Bugatti himself, reached out directly. And that sparked a public back and forth with a level of transparency we never see from manufacturers at this level. As Matt tore the car down, he found what we all understand by now. Even at the level of Bugatti, a car is a car. And with enough money, skill, and cojones, anything technically can still be fixed. Of course, they found classic parts bin sharing, like knee airbags that trace back to an Audi A3. And look, I fully support the right to repair, obviously. You should absolutely be allowed to fix what you legally own. But for a $1 billion brand that sold just 60 Per Sports to the richest people in the world, it's not that simple. Mate made some genuinely solid points. The amount of design work and testing that goes into each component on a car engineered to live at 400 k's an hour, it's not something you can easily replicate without access to millions of dollars or insider knowledge. Just because a housing shares part numbers doesn't mean the internals and the calibrations are exactly the same. A carbon monocoque isn't the same as pulling some frame damage out of your grandma's PT Cruiser. And any incident involving a rebuilt Chiron, even if it was repaired flawlessly, could damage the entire brand on publicity alone. Think back to the Paul Walker Carrera GT tragedy. The following lawsuits cost Porsche millions and caused long-term reputational damage. And guess who owns 45% of Bugatti? So Mate's offer is to have the car officially repaired by the factory in France, which Alex declined for time and cost reasons. But why won't Bugatti even sell them a headlight, a non-safety item? Replace the word safety with liability and suddenly it all makes sense. The moment Bugatti sells any part, they basically endorse the repair and open a can of liability soup that spills far beyond a YouTube rebuild series, like to the next owner of the Chiron, or to far less experienced rebuilders who won't take the extra steps to make sure the repairs are safe in the first place. So Mate's cool in that he did give them his unofficial blessing, just not the parts behind it. So now it's on Matt and Alex to rebuild this car to factory standards, assume all of the risk, and do it for under 600 grand. I don't like it, but I understand it. So if you were the CEO of Bugatti, what would you do? I'm flying the car, Matt, and Alex out to France to help rebuild the car right next to the technicians and do the coolest brand collab the internet has ever seen.
What do we think about this story? I think the original content creator is wrong completely. They don't endorse the repair job just because they sold parts. Now, if they want to get really be really careful about it, is they could easily just have him sign some document releasing them of liability when they sell them apart. Now, this particular car it's a very, very public story. So if something went wrong, that's on him. But I don't know why these manufacturers are so, they guard their parts so closely. It's so hard to get parts from these higher end exotic brands like McLaren and Bugatti, Ferrari. I mean, hell, Ferrari will go over or will go after you if you modify their little prancing horse logo. It's insane. Like, you bought the car, regardless of how much it costs, okay? Whether it's a $10 million car or a $10,000 car, it's irrelevant. It's your car. Why can't you purchase the parts to repair it? Now, for regular people like you and I, we can go to a junkyard and get a part if the manufacturer won't sell us one. But because this is such an exclusive car, there were, I think 60 of them ever made. There's not a lot of wrecked ones out there. And if they're wrecked, then the parts that he needs are probably destroyed as well. So I don't understand what the big deal is. Sell him the parts, and you will actually increase the exposure you get. People will say, oh, Bugatti's wanting to play ball and helping out their customers. That's cool. Now, I don't know how many of the people that think like that will actually become buyers because it's such an exclusive market, but it's silly. And we're living in an age where things are made to break. Now, granted, this car was in a crash, so it's not the same thing. But things are made to break, and things that you buy, you're not allowed to modify, to fix, to repair. I mean, take for example, if you have a MacBook and your front-facing camera stops working on you, Apple will not sell you the camera. It's a $25 camera module that they will not sell you. They will make you ship them your laptop to have them replace the entire screen. Like, and what, at a cost of what, $500? It's insane. Right to repair is a very, very important topic. I'll give you an example of what I'm dealing with right now. Actually, I'm not dealing with a relative of mine is. So this relative of mine moved from California to Texas. Their car was California emissions compliant. So that car is no longer in California. That car lives in Texas now, where we adhere to the federal requirement, not California's stupid special law. The catalytic converter went out, needed to be replaced. A federal emission standard catalytic converter, $300. A California emissions compliant catalytic converter, which is what the car had to begin with, is what? $1,200 to $1,300? How does that make any sense? That car doesn't have to have emissions testing in California ever again. This relative of mine is here for life. That car ain't going anywhere. So why on earth do we have to spend $1,300 on a stupid California catalytic converter? So that's not something that this relative of mine thought of. They replaced it with, just whatever cat was available locally, and it threw a check engine light. Now it won't pass emissions testing because the car wants to see the California requirement. Now, can you get into the software and just change that over? No, you can't. You own the vehicle and you cannot change things. Now, if you want to change something like removing the airbags or removing the seat belts or something that actually affects your safety or the safety of the cars around you, there's an argument to be made. Still not okay with it, but I would be willing to concede some ground there. But a catalytic converter for a car that's no longer in California, it's asinine. It makes no damn sense, and all it does, it hurts the end user. That's it. Now, if this person was to sell the car to somebody that was going to move to California, they might want to disclose, hey, by the way, this car is federal emissions, not California emissions. It won't work over there. Something to that effect. Now, there's a lot of nuts and bolts to that. It could be a more complicated situation, but that's the only one that I can reference that is currently affecting my life in some way. But it's absolutely insanity that we cannot buy a part because the company's afraid of some liability. They could release public statements saying, we don't support this build, but we will take his money. It's fine. Companies should make money. Companies should sell their products to anybody and everybody that will pay for it. But anyway, that's all I got. That's all I got on this story. Thank you for watching the video. Please like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Have a good day.